Welcome to qualifying for FIA Formula 2 here at the Autodromo Enzo and Dino Ferrari circuit in Imola. Emilia-Romagna region as well has hosted Formula 1 since the 1980s, and this amazing circuit will continue that tradition as we get ready for maybe one final time here. Qualifying gets underway, a 30-minute session. The top 10 reversed will set the grid for the sprint race tomorrow, and then in the pole sitter will be Sunday's main race. A few minutes then, we could have a delay here, just a couple, while the circuit is made ready after a red flag in Formula 3's qualifying. 30 minutes ahead of us, so a quick question for Tom before we hand down to the world feed. Tom, interesting practice this morning. Who's your prediction coming in pole position today?
It's a very tough one, and confirmation qualifying will start at 3 minutes past 4 local time at Imola, which will be 3 minutes past 3 over in the UK. It's hard to say who I think is going to get pole. I mean, Alex Dunn has been strong so far today, hasn't he? I think he's got to be one of the contenders for pole, I would have thought. But do you watch out for maybe for the likes of Gabriel Mini and Sebastian Montoya? I think they both have got a point to prove. And they've not had strong starts to the season. But we know that the talent that they've got is better than what the championship standards that they are at suggest. So I would say they're going to be two of which in the fray as well as this man.
Yeah, and that's Alexander Dunn as well, who's down in what was fourth in the standings. Let's check in though, Carlton, Alex Bundle.
Get softer in terms of compact. Super soft, the softest tyre available at any time throughout the Formula 2 season will come into force. They'll have 2 sets of those in order to set the optimum qualifying time. And as you say, Chris, the feature race on Sunday will be lined up as they qualify. Then we'll reverse the top 10 for the shorter sprint race, which happens on Saturday. This circuit, critical to qualify well if you possibly can. It's a really difficult racetrack to overtake on through the race distances. As you mentioned, only a single DRS zone, relatively narrow, tight, bumpy, and although there are 7 over 2G braking efforts in Imola, very few of them offer the actual opportunity to get one car alongside another.
It's a very crucial qualifying session. All the drivers know that coming into this. We've had 3 different pole sitters so far this season. Victor Martins is one of the drivers who's lined up on pole. He did that at the first round. Leo Fornaroli another, Jack Crawford another. Victor Martins has actually been the most consistent driver in terms of qualifying this season. There's your driver standings to the left. Richard Vishaw leading ahead of Pepe Marti, Leo Fornaroli, Alex Dunn, Luke Browning, but that could look dramatically different come the end of the next 3 rounds. This is a crucial part of the season.
Important to remember, way more points available for a Formula 2 race weekend than through a Formula 1 race weekend with those 2 races that we just discussed. So championships, as you say, Chris, can ebb and flow. There are 12 points at the top of the standings between the Spanish drivers and Pepe Marti and Dutch Richard Vishaw, 2 experienced contenders behind the wheel of a Formula 2 car, pursued though by a rookie driver, Leonardo Fornaroli, in his first full season in this series. 40 points to his name at the moment, the reigning Formula 3 champion. And surely as we move into this European phase of the season, we'll have more experience, more understanding of the racetracks that he's going to be pitted up against. Engines are being fired up, and that's because we're homing in from the beginning. We're subtly delayed qualifying session.
We are, and it'll be 30 minutes coming up. And the cars are now getting ready to be fired up, ready to go.
You're wondering what the apparatus is that's being put in the rear of the car there. That is the starter. No onboard starters for Formula 2, so they're started up in the back of the gearbox. You've got to make sure you've got the car in neutral, but all also get rid of the clutch, because otherwise it just rolls straight through the clutch. Quite a process to start a car up from the rear of the gearbox from the driver's perspective, and then we've got to make sure you do not at any time lose the engine out on the racetrack, otherwise you will be out of the session.
So away we go then, and let's see who's got hot or not in this one. To be honest with you, Tom, I'm a bit worried about this session because the drivers we just saw in Formula 3 got very congested up together. Now we're putting the bigger, heavier Formula 2 cars out there who only have the ultra soft tyre as their quali run. So 9 times out of 10 I'm expecting us to be in a bit of a strenuous circumstance, let's say.
Yeah, you could say that. And this is why the drivers need to find their own space around the circuit. I mean, I suppose that's an advantage of being at the head of the queue, because you've not got a car in front of you which you have to deal with. But if you're one of those at the back who's gambling on trying to make the most out of the track evolution, with the cars going over the line before you, hence why you may get more of an advantage because the track picking up got into you.
Amazing. Finally back in one of my favorite tracks, if not my favorite. Really looking forward to go on track tomorrow. Yes, I'm happy with our pace, especially in qualifying. We were able to adapt very quickly, but still some things to improve in the races, as we saw in Bahrain and Jeddah, but we are improving race after race.
You were all about Leonardo Follow early on, Tom, and what he could do in the series. He's now looking stronger this morning in practice runs and arguably one to beat coming into qualifying.
Yep, he could be one to go for pole position here. We're looking at who qualified on pole where for this season. Martin qualified on pole for Australia, even though that feature race got cancelled because of the weather. Pole position in Bahrain went to Leo Fornaroli. Pole position in Jeddah went to Jack Crawford. So could we have a different pole sitter here at Imola? We shall see. Ollie Gurther out on circuit for MP Motorsport with his more experienced teammate Richard Vachon behind him on track. They're just going over the line to begin another prep lap. They need a couple of laps to get these purple marked ultra soft tyres, or super soft tyres I should say, into the optimal window before they start pushing.
Interesting enough, you mentioned about earlier on in the practice, we've had 5 different winners from the races so far, with that one race getting cancelled. So it's 5 from 5. It's 3 from 3 in different pole sitters. There is no consistency in this Formula 2 championship at the moment. So yeah, keep an eye on what we could see. But Richard Vachon leads on 53 points. Jose Maria Marti has 41. Leonardo Follow early on 40. Vachon's only ahead because he's remained consistent throughout the season with a couple more podiums than anybody else, and got his first win in Saudi Arabia of the season, and his first win at Saudi, considering he's finished there 3 times as the winner and got disqualified twice in a row. Not good, but yeah, he put up behind him on the Sunday. Here's Kushmani then through, and very much still a build lap. As we were talking about earlier on with tyres, the sheen is still on them, so it's not a go time just yet. They're not the temperature.
No, I think he's only done 1 lap on those, Kushmani, who is hoping for a better run this weekend. He is part of the Alpine Academy, along with Gabriel and Mini. Not to get confused with the teams they're racing for. Mine is racing for Dams, Mini is racing for Prema. They will be hoping they could be within the fray for a Formula 1 seat in the future. And there's another one who is destined for a bright future in motorsport, if he hasn't done so already, is this man Arvid Lindblad. What a sensational career he has had through karting and through Formula 3 last year. He won out, did the double I think at Silverstone in terms of picking up race wins for Arvid. So he is looking strong this weekend to extend his points score. Picked up a win in the sprint race, now he's going for another one here.
First lap times coming on then. It's, as I said, it's a 150.159, way below the times we're actually going to see as Lindblad breaks into Tamburello nicely through. It's a build-up lap. It's not as fast or attacking, but slow often could look fast. What's the first sector time coming through then at the exit of Villeneuve? 27.884. It's okay, but we've seen it's faster that we're still going to see. This is very much still prep time I expect times to come down in around about 11 minutes to go. Oh, a bit of a slide down the top of Birdsella.
Yeah, he got a bit of kick of oversteer, didn't he? Did limbo through Birdsella, that which won't help. And you can see the car bottoming out on the entry to Ackerman and Raleigh. And he just needs to keep this lap within the zone, really, does Arvid, as he heads through the very anti-outer now. Rise the sausage curbs. We did see someone knock over the bollard on the entry to it. It's been put back in there now, so hopefully that won't be an issue during the course of this session. But Arvid is heading towards Rivatsa, aiming for a good braking point in a straight line, which he does so. Gets the apex just about right through the exit of Rivatsa now, keeps his car off the gravel, and it should be a fast run to the line. A 1 minute 28.1 is the initial benchmark, but we expect the drivers behind to go even quicker.
Yeah, much faster, but that's a good start time as we see the mechanics watching on with the armbands as well. That's effectively their pit lane pass as a mechanic. We're on board now with Gabriel Koshmani, sorry, at the top of the hill in the BWT in the Dams race, and the livery caught me off for a second as Miney flies through. Down in through Rivatsa. First two sections of personal best. Dunes at the fastest middle sector though of anybody at a 30.5. Then he's pushing that power down again, just gentle at the exit. That's a good exit out of Rivatsa too. Over the line comes Kushmini, and he goes second fastest, 70,000 off actually. If Dune's that's not bad. Dune's gone fastest. Dune's top. Go on.
Yeah, Dunn going fastest in the Rodin Motorsport car, 600ths of a second for the Irishman. Straight to the top he goes, and yeah, he'll be happy with that at this stage. We wait and see who else has posted lap times. The timing tower has gone away from the screen we are watching at the moment. There is the Rodin Motorsport crew watching on. Formerly Carlin these in previous years, but now as part of the car manufacturer from New Zealand, I believe, of Rodin Motorsport. There is the Simon Sosa. It's Victor Martin second and Arvid Lindblad in third place. It's Dino Boganovic, Kushmini, Luke Browning, Josh Dirksen, Roman Stanek, Sebastian Montoya, and Ritomo Miata in 10th place, who would be on the reverse grid pole for tomorrow's sprint race. It's Ollie Gerther, Pepe Marti, Leo Fornaroli, Jack Crawford, Max Esterson in 15th place, followed by Rafael Villagomez, Richard Verschaw, Simon Megatunev, Amory Cordial, Gabriele Mini, Kian Shields, and John Bennett, rounding up the 22 drivers in the field there.
Just keeping a look, actually, there's a couple of bits coming through with some more wind out there on the circuit. The drivers have reported. Track temperature is at 38.9, wind speed at 2.5 meters per second, but that was when it was recorded earlier on. We've now got 3.2 coming up on one of our other monitors, so it keeps on changing, and we've got bigger gusts coming in throughout the weekend. Used to see the forecast for Indianapolis today. My goodness me, we might be looking if we get a practice session in at all. That's going to come up at 5 o'clock British summer time here as well for all the action. Unless we have a delayed start, which is possible. If so, we'll pick it up when we finish with Formula 1. Look at Lindblad's first time. So 27.8 in the first sector. Fastest of anybody so far. Still on the build-up lap times. 1:27 the times indicated.
Yeah, we saw Lindblad go off the circuit. Was it Lindblad? It was one of the Red Bull Junior cars. It may have been Pepe Marti that had gone off the circuit. Lindblad is going through sector 2 now. He's down on what he's posted before. Did he have to lift because of the car going back onto the circuit on the exit of Ackerman and Raleigh? We'll find out soon enough. Richard Verschaw carrying on though, and he is making his way through Rivatsa now, taking all the curve on the inside and the outside, and this should be a relatively smooth run to the line for the Dutchman. Race winner of the feature race in Jeddah, P11 only though.
Yeah, struggled a lot. Lindblad improves on his top time to 1:27.815. Now moves a couple of thousandths faster than Dune's time as well at the top. Dunn's time. I keep doing that because it's D-U-U-N-E. It's Dune, but it's done. So it's weird pronunciation coming into it. Montoya was fast sector 1, but lost time sector 2. A lot of time.
Here's Montoya then. Purple in sector 1, yellow in sector 2. He could do with a good qualifying here, couldn't he, Sebastian Montoya? 13th fastest as we speak, but that is likely to be higher than that. What's it going to be? Inside the top 10? 4th fastest for Sebastian.
Just below the actual top runners, as look, there goes Crawford up to 4th. Maybe goes up now into 4th. Look at Victor Martin's middle sector, personal best. Over the line, pole position by a staggering 3/10. That's more like it. 1:27.424. Alexander Dunn goes into 2nd. Lindblad down to 3rd. Here's Vaganovic up towards the line in the high-tech TGR team. What's he done? 4th fastest, but that 1:27 for Martin. That's better. Of course, for our first ever repeat pole sitter this year.
Seems to be a different driver in 4th place, as every time we cut across to another one, that's Luke Browning going 4th place. It was Bogdanovic before. Now it's the other high-tech of Luke Browning, who is up there in the Williams Academy colours. Luke Browning competing in his first full season in FIA Formula 2. Will we see him in Formula 1 in the near future? Answers on a postcard. Do get involved in the live chat if you ever so wish to do so. If you haven't already done so, then please subscribe so you can keep right up to date with all the watch-alongs that you can tune in for over the course of the weekend. We've got so much motor racing action to come. We've got Richard Shaw on replay. I wonder if he had to lift off because of that car going off the track. Can't tell if it wasn't Arvid Lindblad because he was behind Verschaw at the time. I think that may well have been Pepe Marti, Arvid Lindblad's teammate, that went off the racetrack. But yeah, we've got a lot of action over the course of the weekend, Josh, with not just F1, F2 and F3, but Formula E, World Superbikes and practice for the Indy 500 next weekend.
We are literally live every single hour for the next 3 days. It's like there's something going on. We have like little tiny breaks between streams, but every single hour we are live from now. What was it? I can tell you from 7:55 this morning until 4 a.m. Monday morning, we are live every single hour. And this Muggins is having to do nearly all of them. So I'm going to be absolutely shattered by the end of Sunday night. But it is the month of May, and that's what we love about it. It gets slightly easier in 2 weeks' time as well, as we get into it with MotoGP land. And touring cars, Formula 1, and everything going on there as well at Monaco. Lindblad's still top. Follow-Oli is down by a 10th, but they're all starting to move into Victor Martins' benchmarker, which is currently 3/10 faster than anybody else. 1:27.424 for Victor Martins. Here comes Arvid Lindblad. Oh, he's boxed again. He's not happy. He was down in the 2 sectors.
Yeah, well, he was down in the first 2 sectors. He may as well just head back to the pits. Anyway, this is Fornaroli, 12th fastest right now. That's likely to be higher with this lap that he's about to post. It is a good enough time for 2nd place. Alex Dunn on the fast lap in the Rodin Motorsport car. What can he produce? He's going through sector 2 now. Where does he compare to Martin? He's 1/4 second down to what Martin has posted. The tyres, I think, have pretty much fallen away for Alex Dunn by this stage. So I'd expect either he comes in at the end of this lap or can finish the lap and then just slow down and make his way back to the pits next time around.
Yeah, I reckon a box now. It's that halfway stage of the session. Everyone else is starting to come in for their runs. Let's see, is he going to come in? Yes, he does. Yeah, late call though. But everybody now enter the pit lane at halfway in order to get some new runs. This is Arvid Lindblad. What's he done? Down into Acqua Minerale. Oh, he got that bump. The rear stepped out on him, and that's going to be causing a problem not only in the F2 but also in the F1. We saw a couple of them get loose in practice earlier on, but I'm not a fan. They could smooth that bit out. It's caused by the World Endurance cars. We had GTs and hypercars here just a few weeks ago, and it wore a patch out in the surface because the low ride height we were having. It was one all weekend long, and got another one coming here. Okay, slow lap time's coming in then. Let's check in with Chris McCarthy and Alex Brundle.
If you have a bit of a swapper on the exit curve that sits on the left-hand side, we saw a lot of setup evolution through the free practice process. More than usual, I would say, with drivers adjusting ride height and flap angle in order to try to maximise their cars, working with the balance all the time. Very much that kind of layout, but have the car balance perfect underneath you. Lindblad and Goethe have been noted for impeding in turns 5 and 6. So we'll keep across the race control screen for you and let you know if anything goes on as a result of that.
Yeah, that's through the Villeneuve chicane. We'll see if anything comes of that in this session. Of course, all results in this one always are provisional until things like that are checked by race control after the session. But the fans, plenty to cheer for in this one. Of course, Formula 2 always delivering plenty of exciting action around here. But Leo Forneroli, as it stands, would start on the front row and has a great shot at fighting for pole position. Just has to try and find some time on Victor Martins, because currently, Alex, he has got a gap over the rest of the field.
Well, he does. A couple of tenths is a veritable gulf.
Yes.
In Formula 2 racing. Those of you watching on thinking, there's no one out on the track now. Yeah. Why don't they go and drive around now? They could have a lovely, clear racetrack to run on. Track temperature has dropped 3 degrees already since the beginning of the session. It's 4:19 p.m. local time, so it will continue to drop through the rest of the session. The cooler the track is, the more efficient the tyre performance is. The cooler the air is, the more downforce, the more power you get, because you get a little bit more air pressure and therefore oxygen into intakes and air over the wings. So the circuit is literally improving as the drivers sit there doing nothing right now, which is why you see them all running together at the end of the session, getting in each other's way. Sometimes we do see drivers decide that running without traffic is a more beneficial strategy than trying to gain the optimum track. In this instance, all the teams and drivers feeling that running at the end of the session is going to be better.
The only problem with that is everyone wants to be on the exact same lap at the exact same time, and that often can create some problems.
There is only one perfect position on the racetrack. Unfortunately, we have 22 cars.
It's who finds it. Yeah. Great stuff. Fans watch on. We can see Alex Dunn. He's doing a great job so far this season. Became Ireland's first winner in Formula 2, and we caught up with him yesterday.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think we have 3 very cool and very historic tracks coming up, and 3 tracks that I really enjoy a lot as a driver. No, I think we've started off the season pretty strong. I think we're in a place where we've had a few good results, but also there's a couple of things I can do a little bit better as well. So I think if we can build on that and continue learning, then yeah, I'm looking forward to the next few races coming up. I knew that it was possible to start off strong. I think naturally as a driver you always want to do as well as soon as you can in the year, but I think, yeah, I knew there was a possibility to start off well, but I probably didn't expect to do as well as we have. I think because the feature race in Melbourne was cancelled, pretty much Bahrain was the first feature race of the year, so experiencing pit stops under pressure and things like that was a new experience for me in the race in Bahrain. So no, I knew through testing that the pace was strong, and I felt pretty comfortable in the car pretty quickly. I think the jump from F3 probably wasn't as big as I expected, so there wasn't as much to learn as probably what you would expect from the outside looking in. But no, I knew there was a possibility to have a strong start, and I'm glad that we did have a strong start.
Alex Dunn there, the McLaren Junior, recently testing their Formula 1 car as well at Zandvoort. Great start to the season for him. Some interesting points in that. Makes the jump up from Formula 3, where he did not have the best of seasons, did not go to plan for him. But interesting to see how he has felt that the step up from Formula 3 to Formula 2 was not what he expected it to be.
Okay, we reformed. He stayed on the racing line on the braking of T5.
So this is the impeding incident that we saw and discussed a few moments ago. Those 2 cars painted the same. That is a relation to the academy that the drivers are in. They are not teammates, though, between those 2 teams, Lindblad and Goethe. So we'll see if something comes. It looks like there's no further investigation with a result to that one. So on with the show in terms of qualifying.
Yeah, and it's getting very busy out there on the circuit. Everyone getting back up to speed now. There we see Richard Vishaw. He is someone who will definitely want to get on with it here. Needs to find some time.
Don't need quite as much time to build the tyre up to its operating temperature. Look at this little bit of gamesmanship over the ultimate little bit of track, then down towards the final ravazza. That's where we often see a queue throughout the qualifying sessions. Drivers trying to find the perfect place. Sebastian Montoya there, looking like he wants to go for his first flying lap, but has had to back out of it because of the drivers ahead causing too much traffic. Whether he wanted to go for it, whether he just shaped to try to make the move. They don't have to spend quite so long over it because the brakes are already warm at this stage. So that adds temperature to all 4 corners. So they might only need 1 build lap in the second run. 9 minutes to go, and they're going to do the same thing all over again. Those at the back will be hoping for a different result.
Exactly what you were talking about earlier on, Tom, as well, about the tyre temperatures and the situations. They've scrubbed the set, they're ready to go, and now, without a red flag, they can run their own procedures, unlike what happened with Formula 3, where they really had the stop-start procedure.
Yeah, and they may need another lap. I think they need to. I think they're doing 1 lap on this new set of super softs, aren't they? So they need to do another lap before they do go for a flyer. And we should start to see some drivers going into the 126s now. I don't think it'll be any faster than that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see how they get on with to see whether they've generated enough tyre temperature to the point where they'll get the peak performance and all the benefit from the tyre at the same time. To hook up the lap when it matters most. And at the moment it's Victor Martin who's fastest, and Sebastian Montoya in 10th place and on reverse grid pole for tomorrow's sprint race. So we'll see how whether that remains as it is, or whether we'll see some changes in the order. Just seen Sebastian Montoya, Richard Vachor and all that, just trying to find space before they go for their last runs, or one of their last runs, considering they haven't done a flying lap on the new set.
Enough that Formula 1 are experiencing some new camera angles here as well this weekend. And I hope, Tom, you've been told about that as well on your logger point of view, because we've got drones coming in, but we've also got a new shot that's from the back of Ravazza all the way down towards turn 1 on what is going to be from the top of the pit view. So that's going to be fun come the race. I've just been reading up on it during the break in a new email. So you're going to get, when you go back, take a look at those shots, please, and let me know how it looks, because I hope we get to see it. But it's one of those special cameras that you get. You know, it almost looks 360. It's like the goldfish eye. I don't know what it's called. The ultra wide, something or other.
I don't know.
I'm not a camera person. I just point and shoot. But it's one of those. The ultra wide zoomy angles, like a goldfish eye.
Like panning shots, or
it's
something.
Like that, yeah.
I don't know.
What's that one on the iPhone where you can hold it still and it goes all the way across, like the pan?
It's like a panning. Yeah, it's like a panning shot. Yeah, if you move it across, like horizontally, that would be an example of a panning shot.
That's what it is. It's static. So no idea how they've done it, but I love learning about new camera angles. I tell you what. Oh, we've got a yellow flag on the end of the first run laps. There's a yellow flag somewhere on the circuit. It stayed, so I hope it's not going to be a red. Montoya's going to cross the line, though. He's out of that zone. And Montoya goes to provisional pole position. And it's a red flag and an accident for one of the... Like, it's not Gabriel Mini because he's just crossed the line. So it's Kushmini who's hit the barrier. Bogdanovic goes top. Lindblad to 6th, but the red flag comes out. Mini was the last one to set that lap time across the line, according to the computer. But yeah, that is down at Tamburello coming in. Is that a rear puncture? Oh, that's happening. Yeah, no, Kush says he's okay.
Yeah, well, I think he's dipped a wheel in the gravel trap and hit the barrier and rebounded back onto the circuit. Unless he's had contact with it. No, he's hit the barrier. He's definitely hit the barrier there. So he's probably gone in sideways and hit the right corner of his dams. We'll get a replay in a moment. I'm surprised they didn't allow the drivers just to finish off their laps, because they would have slowed down anyway.
Yeah.
Mining's car. Yeah, so there may be some discussions afterwards, because Arvid Lindblad's lap time would have put him to the top, but that was set just after the red flag signal. That lap is not valid.
Let's take a look. So he's already gone. Yeah, that's exactly what Behrman did a couple of years ago. Just Behrman did a up at Villeneuve.
On the outside.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I lost the car.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Okay, copy.
I mean, I'm not going to be critical of Kushminer here, but he did lose the car. Maybe not letting go of the steering wheel to try and correct it would have corrected it. Because it was the fact is that he lost the steering wheel. Yeah, and Crawford had the same moment as well. Oh, Browning, sorry.
Browning.
Oh, did you see that? As he jumped over the curb, the rear, sort of, the way it split in two, almost. My goodness me, it looked loose. Marty's gone off down there as well. Yeah, but Kushminer, yeah, he got on the exit curve, the rear stepped out on him, but he let go of the wheel to try and collect it. So, that doesn't help matters either. He could have saved that one. Didn't get away from that quickly. It was the counter correction. Because his hand was off the wheel, he was doing it one-handed, effectively. That's a bit of that's driver error. I can't accept any more. It's driver error. Okay, let's head down to the world feed then while we're under this red flag.
In any case, the question, though, is how will this super soft tyre react to a heat cycle? Will it be able to deliver once more? They've got easily enough time, depending on how long this red flag is and how much it cools the tyre, to get out there and set another flying lap. So all is not lost for those who haven't achieved the lap that they might like. But that being said, there will be several drivers ruining this moment, as they will all believe they were on a much better lap than could have been.
6 thousandths of a second between the top 3 drivers. Dino Beganovic on for a first pole position. Montoya in second. Victor Martins in third. Just 6 thousandths of a second between them. Our championship leader all the way down in 19th place. Formula 2 is incredibly unpredictable, but will it be Dino Beganovic to take pole position? A very good point you pick up on, though, that are we going to see these tyres being able to perform when they all go back out there? It was quite busy out there on track. It's going to be even busier this time, because you have to get back out there straight away.
You put that out of your mind as a driver and assume the tyre can do it,
right,
until told otherwise, or until you find out otherwise. They'll be trying to manage those tyres back in again to peak performance. Much will depend, as I mentioned, on how much energy has been taken out of them in this first lap, and also how cold they go. So how long it takes for the clear up, because if you don't get a full heat cycle into the tyre, it can mean that the drop-off is smaller for the next run, and of course they don't then have to spend time building them back up into the window again, and can just get straight after it when they're out there. It was a big old bump for Miney, wasn't it? Glad to see the driver out and okay. Gabriele Mini sitting down in 15th place. That's not where we're used to seeing Mini. Driver in 10th place in the standings, and second place finisher throughout the full season last year in Formula 3. Vice champion, of course, Leonardo Fornaroli, who's joined the ranks of Formula 2 as well, sitting in 4th place in his Invicta in this particular session.
12th and 8th in his last 2 qualies. It's just been a little bit an area where he's been struggling this season, or just been a bit unfortunate. I looked at Pepe Marti as well, second in the championship, out of that crucial top 10. Let's look at this one more time, Alex.
The impact then on the outside, one of those where it rolls into the barrier, and unfortunately you get more damage than you deserve, really, and at that moment you're finished. As soon as the car goes beyond the yaw, where the downforce isn't working, the tyre isn't gripping, nothing is doing what it's designed to do with that much sideways slide on the car. And the steering torque in a car like this, however much they've been managed and massaged over the years to try to make the cars more accessible, will simply not allow you to unwrap your full spaghetti arms and point the car back where it needs to go.
Absolutely. Well, we still wait for the car of Kushmini to be retrieved, and then we will be able to get this session resumed. There's a lot on the line here in one of the most crucial qualifying sessions of the season. Alex Dunn currently in P5, and given what has gone on, oh well,
will not be resumed.
Well, the session will not be resumed. That is the
Well, That's a bit of a surprise, Tom. With 6 minutes to go, they haven't resumed it because of the F1 practice session. But that's a bit bizarre. Beganovic gets pole and becomes our 4th different pole sitter of the season. But that's a bit. That's very strange to call it off.
Position.
Well,
What do you think? That's weird.
That's a controversial one. I'm absolutely surprised that they've not continued with it. I mean, if they can't shift the Formula 1 practice session, then fair enough, but they definitely know they had time to get round to do 2 prep laps and then a fast run. There's going to be a lot of livid drivers, I think, after that session, because once they find out how much time was left on the clock, which was 5 minutes and 59 seconds,
Yeah.
they know that there was time to get that session finished.
Look, they can't believe it. Look, everyone can't. That's Leonardo Forlaroli. He can't believe it. That is ridiculous, in my opinion. Very, very bad. Victor Martins looking on. Don't think he can believe it either. So we've lost 7 minutes. 6 effective. Well, yeah, because of the red flag, but we've lost 6 at the end. And Dino Beganovic has pole position by 3 thousandths of a second to Sebastian Montoya and Victor Martins by 6 thousandths. The closest top 3 in Formula 2 history, that is. So, well done. Here's Beganovic.
it's an in.
Thank you. Thanks, team. This means a lot.
It does indeed. It does indeed. Well, I reckon Sky about to dart off here. So, Tom, what's been your moment of qualifying? That was a controversial end, did you say?
Yeah, well, hats off to Beganovic for putting together the luck when it mattered most, and well done to Sebastian Montoya getting up into 2nd place. But I think the likes of Alex Dunn, Arvid Lindblad and co will be quite furious with that decision. They're going to be annoyed, 100%.
Just as a little factor, by the way, we could have to run 2 Formula E races on the Sunday as due to the weather we have coming into tomorrow in Tokyo. FP2 could be the ex facto grid and qualifying suspended and then trying to do the race because there's a lot of rain coming in tomorrow at Tokyo. Sunday looks to be a bit better, but that's what you get for going to Japan in the middle of a rainy season changing over. That's a bit daft, but yeah. To stick in Europe, follow the sun around the world. That's what you're supposed to do as a motorsport series to come into it. Okay, well, we'll hand over now to the world feed. My thanks to Tom, and my thanks to all of you at home. We'll hand over to the world feed, and when they sign off, we'll sign off, as we'll now prepare for our Formula 1 practice session. Let's go over to Alex Rundle and Chris McCarthy.
And Kian Shields. That is the order for now. It is provisional. What we do know out front is Dino Beganovic takes his first pole position, and a huge congratulations to him. That is all for qualifying. We will be back for the sprint race tomorrow at 2:15 local time. We'll see you then.